Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Okay, so today this is the chapter 4 part 2, the recorded video lecture for you for today. So I've shown you this slide, and the first one we have covered in part 1. So in this video lecture we will cover this part where we are going to learn about the platforms of e-learning. But first of all, we have to know what e-learning is. So the e-learning, it refers to the learning system, and it uses the internet and also the electronic device. So these are the points that we have to remember when people talking about e-learning. Then it shows that we have to use some sort of a platform or some sort of a system where we have to incorporate the technology, the internet, and also the electronic device into the learning system. Okay, so besides e-learning, another terms that we usually use is the online learning or online education. But actually, the E here in e-learning, it represents electronic. So it literally means electronic learning. So from the name itself, we know that the learning, it needs some electronic device. Another term that we use as well is the online learning. So online, it means that we have to have a internet connection, okay? Because the learning is going through using websites or whatever platforms, but the internet must be there. So e-learning is a training provided via a computer or other digital device, allowing technology to facilitate learning anytime, anywhere. Okay, so these are the points as well for the e-learning, where it uses the electronic devices like this, the computer, tablet, phone, and then those are the technology part that we have to incorporate into our e-learning. And the good thing of the e-learning is it can be done anytime, anywhere. Okay. In e-learning, there are two types of e-learning. So this is the first one, the asynchronous learning. So asynchronous learning, it is self-paced. Okay, so self-paced, it means that it depends on the students on when and where to study those materials given by the lecturers. The learners are taking the course on their own, usually on a laptop. Okay, because this is e-learning, so remember we have to use the electronic device. So you can use your laptop, your tablet, your phone. Apa lagi yang ada? Itulah kot usually these three components kan. Alright. Asynchronous e-learning programs may include pre-recorded lecture content and video, visuals, text, knowledge, quizzes, simulations, games, and other interactive elements. Okay, so because it is done through asynchronous and it is self-paced as well, so many of the lecturers have already prepared the lecture video. So for example, is what I'm doing here. Right now, I am recording a video lecture so that I can post to any platform. So in our example, I'm going to post it in Google Classroom. And then at your own pace, students can access the link in the Google Classroom anytime, anywhere that you want. Okay, so maybe while makan, you put on your earphone or earphone ataupun speakerphone tu, and then sambil makan you dengar lecture I. Okay, gigih sangat tu, dahsyat sangat tu. Okay, ataupun macam tengah bosan-bosan dekat luar kan, pasanglah dengarlah lecture yang recorded punya. Okay, so it is anytime, anywhere. The second category of e-learning is called the synchronous. Okay, so notice the difference between the first type. The first type is asynchronous. The second one is the synchronous. Okay, so synchronous, it usually means live online training. Okay, so for example, in our class pun kita ada buat synchronous, where our class is supposed to be at every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Okay, so some weeks we do have synchronous e-learning, okay, where we meet at 11 o'clock and then kita belajar that for that particular topic for the next 1 hour. So that is synchronous, where it is instructor led, meaning that I have to be there at 11, all students have to be there, and then I teach you everyone of the class in the same at the same time. It's just that it is geographically dispersed. Okay, so although we are gathered together at the same time at the same day, but you guys are all in a different places. Okay, so this training typically uses a web conferencing or virtual classroom platform. Okay, so it's either Google Meet ataupun Zoom meeting. Okay, tapi sebenarnya there are a lot of other platforms that we can use. It's just that the most simple one adalah Google Meet lah yang biasa kita guna. And then we use slides or screen sharing. Okay, so that is very obvious, because through online platform, then I have to make slides, and then in order for me to show my slides to you in the synchronous e-learning, then I have to screen share. And also there are some online activities, right, that we do during the synchronous learning that you have experienced as well in my class, or maybe in other classes with other lecturers, kan. So pakai chat lah, polling lah, screen annotation. So screen annotation is what I'm doing now. I'm conteng-conteng ni. So this is screen annotation. Okay, so there is another learning approach where it is combining both the asynchronous and also the synchronous e-learning, which what we call as blended learning. So from the name itself, nama pun blend, kan. Jadi kalau macam kita tengok mak kita dekat dapur tu, dia blendkan cili, dia blendkan bawang. So maknanya they want to combine. Our mother wants to combine both ingredients. So blended is a mix of synchronous and asynchronous. So remember, yang synchronous ni dia live. Kalau yang asynchronous ni dia yang apa nak panggil? Not live. Recorded. Okay. Alright. So there are a lot of factors yang ada dekat dalam blended learning tu. So it depends on the institution. Dia ada menetapkan, okay, for the blended learning, because it is a mixture of the synchronous and asynchronous, so dia akan ada beberapa elements lah. Okay, so this element, it should be synchronous. This element should be asynchronous. So how many percentage for the synchronous and how many percentage for the asynchronous? So let's see the advantages of e-learning. Okay, so now you have experienced almost one semester dah. Sekarang ni dah week berapa Week 9, week 10 dah, kan? So it's been 9 to 10 weeks that you have experienced the e-learning. So I think most of you can relate with all the points listed in this part. Okay, so for example, it's flexible time. Okay, so for example, today we're supposed to have our class at 11 o'clock, but I decided to do it asynchronous. Okay, so by using recorded lecture. So at 11 o'clock, you don't have to stand by in front of your laptop, tablet or phone, kan? To wait for the lecturer to wait for me, and then you have to learn at within the 1 hour, kan? But when we do the asynchronous, then it gives you more flexibility. Okay, so at 11 AM tu maybe you boleh buatlah kerja assignment yang lain, tapi yang berkaitan dengan belajar lah. Janganlah pukul 11 lecturer cakap, oh kita buat asynchronous. Saya dah letak video saya dekat dalam Google Classroom. Awak boleh tengok dan jawab soalan, deadline dia hari Sabtu ni. So you kira-kira, okay, today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I have 4 days to listen to the YouTube videos and to answer the questions. Tak apalah, I nak tidur dulu lah. Sekarang pun tengah musim hujan. Okay. So although it gives you some flexibility, but you really have to control, you really have to manage your time. Okay. So e-learning is cost effective. Okay. So we have covered some of the points of the advantages of the e-learning ni in the previous part. Okay, so remember in previous part, we see the differences between the conventional learning and also the modern learning. And each learning approach too, we see the advantages and also the disadvantages. Okay, so one of the advantages of e-learning is the cost effective, because you can be at your home. You don't have to attend the campus. You don't have to pay all the related fees, okay, with the transportation, makan, with all the college fees, okay. So it is cost effective. Alright, so these are some of the examples of the e-learning platforms. So in UTHM currently, these are the most common and popular platforms that we use. So the first one is Otter. Okay, so in our class we haven't used Otter yet. Okay, but I believe in some of your other classes with other lecturers in UTHM, they use Otter. Okay, second one is the Google Classroom. Okay, Google Classroom, and also the third one is Microsoft Teams. Memang the most popular platform, okay, used by the teachers, used by the lecturers, and used by the students in UTHM. So for your information, Otter is developed by the UTHM. Okay, Google Classroom by Google lah nama pun. Microsoft Teams pun by Microsoft. Okay, so there are 3 different developer: UTHM, Google, and Microsoft. You can try using all these 3 platforms, and you will see some of the platforms too are giving you some ease, kan? They are very user friendly. Okay, so maybe you like that platform more. But some of the platforms mungkin dia tak berapa kena dengan jiwa kita, kan? Dia macam kita tak suka macam gini, so tiba-tiba dia ada macam tu. Okay, so you can try, just try. There is no harm in trying. Even you don't have to pay if you want to download ataupun you want to access, if you want to sign up for that platform tu, kan? So you don't have to pay anything, right? So just try. Kalau tak suka, delete je. So video conferences, when we do the e-learning approach, whether it is asynchronous or no. So this is for synchronous only. Okay. So synchronous, remember, it has to be live meeting. Jadi kalau kita kata, okay everyone, on Wednesday 11 o'clock AM we will go live. Alright. So live tu kita nak tengok video conference through what platform? Okay, so the first one is Google Meet. So this is most popular lah, yang paling senang. Okay, Google Meet yang macam kita guna juga sekarang. And then the second one is Zoom. Okay, so before this, when it started, the PKP started in March, kan, 2020, kan. So at that time, Zoom sebenarnya yang paling popular. Okay. But then, few weeks later after that, kan, they discovered that Zoom ni dia ada breach in security. So kita orang pun ban Zoom. And then we go to Google Meet. Okay, so far Google Meet is okay. Why we like Google Meet? Because at that time, daripada bulan 3 hingga bulan 10 tahun 2020, Google Meet, they allow recording, and also they allow the participants of more than 100 pax. Okay. However, they make an announcement that starting 1st October 2020, recording dah tak boleh. Lepas tu, participants pun hanya 100 sahaja. Dia tak bagi lebih daripada 100. Okay. So, that creates problem to some of the classes in UTHM. Kalau for us, tak ada masalah lah sebab in one class pun paling ramai pun is 40 students. So, okay. It's just that yang recording tu. Because during e-learning, the lecturers, because kita ada dekat rumah masing-masing. Alright? So, the higher management, the upper management, they need some sort of a proof that we really conduct the online lecture. So, what do they need is they need the recording session of the synchronous learning. Okay, so since we can't record that using Google Meet, then we go back to using Zoom. Okay, so by that time, by October 2020, Zoom ni dia dah revise balik dah. Dia dah betulkan balik sistem dia, dah tak ada breach dah. Security breach. So far Zoom is very good. Dia boleh record, dia boleh more than 100 pax. Okay. So sekarang ni Google Meet dengan Zoom ni, saya dengar cerita Google Meet pun dia macam dah turn on kan balik dia punya recording punya function, because ramai bising-bising agaknya kan, and then maybe statistically people go back to Zoom kan. Before this macam daripada Zoom pergi ke Google Meet, now Google Meet buat perangai people go back to Zoom. So they don't want to lose in that competition, so they on kan balik recording tu. Besides these two platforms for video conference, we can use Skype. Okay, so Skype ni memang dah lama lah, dari zaman bila entah, dah banyak-banyak lah kan. Sebab during my zaman when I was doing my undergraduate studies dekat overseas, time tu 2000, sekejap nak kena fikir balik, 2000 berapa lah, tak ingat 2005. Okay, so 2005 I was in the USA for the undergraduate studies, and I use Skype platform ni untuk call my parents almost every day. Bayangkanlah, time tu memang macam manja-manja sikit dengan homesick bagai semua kan. So at that time memang Skype je lah yang ada. Google Meet, Zoom ni apa semua macam tak tahulah ada dah ke belum. Mungkin I tak explore lagi ke, tetapi memang guna Skype saja. But besides that, we have YouTube and also the FB Live. Okay, and I know some of the lecturers, I'm not sure if they are in our department, but in other department ada yang menggunakan FB Live as their medium for video conference. Okay, so in all courses, tak kisahlah course itu susah ke, senang ke kan. Apa-apa courses pun mesti assessment ada. Minta maaf lah ejaan assessment salah. Okay, so assessment tu mesti ada. Okay, so since this is an e-learning and online learning, so all assessments have to be online as well. Okay, so we are trying to make the assessment fun. Kita tak nak jadi formal, because in the face-to-face punya ataupun conventional punya learning kan, the assessment kan is very formal, where we write the question, lepas tu kita photo state, and then students are seated in satu-satu punya kedudukan, and then we give you the questions, and then you write down, okay, within 1 hour or 2 hour, then you have to submit your answers kan. So it's very formal. Okay, but the advantages of e-learning, we can make the assessments fun using a lot of platforms. Okay, so for example, the first one is Flipgrid. Kita dah pernah try kan Flipgrid kan? So Flipgrid is where the students can upload your video kat situ kan, a video response. Okay, Kahoot. I'm not sure I've done Kahoot with you or not. Tapi with other classes or previous classes adalah pernah lah. But I think with you I haven't done Kahoot because before this memang my first preference for online quiz is using Kahoot. Because at that time I haven't discovered Quiz-Is yet. Okay, so now when I have discovered Quiz-Is, and I think that I like Quiz-Is better for some other reasons, so I macam okay lah, tak jadilah nak guna Kahoot, I guna Quiz-Is sahaja. Okay, and then Jamboard. Okay, so Jamboard I believe we have used that as one of the assignments kan, yang you kena letakkan you punya goal kan, goal setting and everything tu. And then Padlet, okay, ada menggunakan Padlet for you to tell us the response, lepas tu group members and then Google Forms yang that you is fill in for your attendance. Okay, so the platforms for the assessments are not limited to these 6 platforms only. Kan ada macam-macam lagi. Ada Mentimeter lah, semua-semua lah yang kita dah pernah guna. Okay, kalau bubuh kat dalam ni memang tak muat. But these are one of the popular one lah. Okay, yang kita dah biasa guna. Okay, so after learning all those conventional, all those modern and e-learning, so I would like for you to share your opinion on your e-learning journey or your e-learning experience. Okay, so scan this QR code or I will give you the link of this Menti ni. Okay, nanti I will give you the link in Google Classroom and then share lah your opinion on your e-learning journey and experience. So these are the references. And that's all. Thank you very much. So this is the end of chapter 4 for BWU 10401.